Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, what shall we do? As usual, should we wait for another 2-3 minutes? Only 6 students are here, but we are having around 25-30 students, I suppose. Okay, we'll wait for another 3 minutes. Okay, so shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so then now you may be wondering why I am starting a new lesson while there is another component to be finished in the previous lesson. Do you feel like that? Okay, so there is a reason. Did you receive your assignment?
Yes.
Harry, okay. So then can you do your assignment? Sorry, that's not, let me share the assignment with you. Yeah, where is the assignment? Harry, okay. That's not the assignment. Yeah. Also presentation. I'll close that also. Harry, can you see this now? Okay. So here, did you read your assignment? So we need to save time today. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Can you see this assignment?
Yes, madam.
Yep.
Hari. Yeah. Select a language teaching methodology that you have studied. Okay. To start this assignment question, I mean answering, we have to complete today's lesson because we did not complete the stuff related to this question. Provide a detailed overview of the selected methodology, outlining its key principles, assumptions about language learning and historical context. Discuss the role of the teacher. You have already read this. So, when should you submit your assignment?
28th of February.
28th of February. So then that is why I thought of doing this lesson. Now is it clear? Because if I do not do this assignment, sorry, this lesson, you will not be able to write your assignment. Okay. So under language teaching methodology in your syllabus, there are 5 language teaching methodologies. Okay. Communicative language teaching, task-based learning, audiolingual method, total physical response, learner-centered approaches. Okay, shall we start with the first one? Communicative language teaching. Okay, communicative language teaching. Simply we call CLT. Okay, just get an idea quickly. Okay, once you finish reading, let me know. Okay, Harry. Harry, okay, done. Communicative language teaching methodology. Under that, interaction and communication are considered as the primary goal of language learning. So if somebody asks you what is the purpose of language learning, that is to interact and communicate with people. So this methodology prioritizes, give priority to meaning making and fluency. Okay, meaning making and fluency over grammatical accuracy in initial state. Okay, so rather than paying attention to grammatical accuracy, that means correctness of grammar, this methodology pays more attention to fluency and meaning making at the initial stage. So it doesn't mean that this methodology does not pay attention to grammar. It pays attention to grammar, but at the initial level, it thinks only about fluency and meaning making. Okay, we'll see key features of communicative language teaching. Okay, just read. Okay, so here, authentic communication. You know the meaning of authentic? Authentic means it's not artificial, it's genuine, real. Okay, use real life scenarios and materials to make learning relevant and engaging. Under communicative language teaching, classroom learning is connected to real world. So then traditionally, instead of focusing on grammar rules, under communicative language learning, learners are exposed to language as it is actually used in everyday situation. Okay, language learning is very natural. It's not artificial under this method. So it's similar to how we deal with the language in our day-to-day life. Okay, I will scroll the slides. If you have a doubt and if you need more explanation, you just ask. Okay, here you can see how this real, authentic, real world situations are brought into language learning. Using realia, the teachers are using real things inside the classroom, bringing in menus, brochures, train tickets, newspaper articles for students to work with. So they are natural things, real things actually. They are not imaginary things. And then role playing is there. So for role playing also, real life interactions are brought. For an example, ordering food in a restaurant, asking for directions, complaining about the service. So they are authentic and natural. And then simulations. Creating simulations means creating more elaborative scenarios like planning a trip, organizing an event, solving a community problem. Okay, just like that. So rather than learning grammar rules, a communicative language teaching makes the learner language more practically. Some more actually. Okay. I'm waiting until you finish reading. Okay, we'll see discussions. So in addition to the earlier ones here, using really role playing, simulations, and even discussions. So there are discussions on current events, personal experiences, or else topics of interest. And then using authentic text and recording. So authentic text and recordings means they are real conversations. Podcast means that these are media, how can I say, digital media task actually. It can be audio, video, and they can be used to teach English language. And that the podcast is based on a particular topic. And news reports are there, movies are there. All these things can be used to expose learner to real conversations. So when authentic material and authentic task are used in language learning, so then the learners will be learning language very naturally. And then learners will understand the practical value of what they are learning. And then as a result, the students will be more motivated. Okay, so now we are talking about key features of communicative language teaching. Number one is authentic communication. So now we are going to number two. Yeah, just see. Okay, are you still reading? Here, fluency over accuracy. That means encouraging learners to express themselves even if they make mistakes. So focusing on meaning. Okay, this communicative language teaching method is very supportive to students. So this method encourage fluency over accuracy. So they want students to talk. It doesn't matter even they do grammar mistakes. Okay, that is at the initial stage of learning. So even though students make mistakes, grammatical errors, we have to encourage learners to talk. Okay, under this method. See the examples. Okay, we'll see here. So then pair work activities. So then the students are given pair work under this method, communicative language teaching. So then when you are working in a pair, two students will be there basically, and they will be focusing on getting their ideas across. They will be discussing. Okay, then storytelling. So these are the examples activities, pair work activities, storytelling. So then students tell stories or share experiences focusing on communicating. So when students share experience and when they focus on communication, so they have to uh, interact with each other. They have to communicate. And then improvisation. That means the students, they engage in spontaneous conversation. Spontaneous means without an effort, focusing on responding to each other and keeping the conversation going. So naturally, they will respond to conversations. Okay, so they respect each other, they respond to each other, and they keep the conversation going. That is improvisation. Yeah, see the summary. Okay, we'll see. Focusing on fluency helps learners to build confidence. Communicative language teaching methodology, it focuses on communication. So because of that, the students will be more confident. And then they will not be afraid of making mistakes. That is positive actually. And then because of communicative language teaching methodology, they are ready to take risk and they will actively participate in communication. Okay, so that is at the initial level when they are in small classes. But later, learners develop their basic level of fluency with accuracy. Okay, even though at early stage they focus on talking without considering grammar, but later they will talk with correct grammar. Hari, okay, so the second one is you have to write short notes. Okay, I have extended the note. Authentic communication. Now itself you can do key features of communicative language teaching with a piece of paper. You can write down authentic communication, fluency over accuracy, learner autonomy. Third one. Yeah, quickly read this. Okay, so learner autonomy. I'm sorry, I want to complete this lesson today because I want to make you comfortable in writing your assignment. Okay, if I could not finish this, at least most of the methodologies, you will be clueless regarding your assignment. So we have a limited time. So that is the problem. What is learner autonomy? Any idea? Learner autonomy means learner independence. Autonomous learners means independent learners. So these learners, they do not depend on the teacher. They take the responsibility of learning onto their shoulders. Did you get the point? So they take control of their learning. Okay, so then under communicative language teaching, we can see learner autonomy because learners, they do not depend on the teacher. They are independent. They do pair work, they do role play, they do discussions like that. So they are not passive recipient of information. The passive recipient of information means they are just getting what teacher is telling. But here they are not like that under communicative language teaching. See the examples. Okay, here from these examples, you can get an idea how these learners are becoming autonomous. The choice of topic. So learners are given choices about the topics. Okay, they discuss or the task they complete. So then rather than teacher signing everything, here the learners are given a chance to select topics. And then self-assessment is there. That means learners, they are encouraged to reflect on their own progress. So they assess themselves. The way I am understanding this lesson, is it correct? Okay, the way I am writing answer, is it correct? Just like then, learners can get an assessment about themselves. And then setting learning goals. Okay, so learners are involved in setting their own learning goals. So teachers are not giving goals for the learners, but learners are setting goals. But here, don't misunderstand, teachers are not inactive. Teachers are behind and they are leading the students to have their goals. Otherwise, one may feel teacher is useless. No, teacher is having a huge task behind the curtain. Teacher is leading the student. Leading role is not easy. Okay, then collaborative learning. So that means under communicative language learning, which is accepted today actually. So if possible, we should try our level best to implement communicative language learning and teaching. Both are same actually. So under communicative language teaching, the students are not isolated because they work together and they work in pairs or groups and they support each other. Okay, so learner autonomy, when students become autonomous, they are highly motivated and they engage in learning very well, because no one should not be there behind them to force. We'll go to I will come to a summary, okay? Don't worry. Next one is negotiation of meaning. Okay, what is this? A negotiation of meaning. So then they study together. So when they study, if they come across something that they could not understand, everybody will contribute to understand. They will give their opinion. So they have to negotiate and finally come to a conclusion. Okay, this is the meaning. Okay, that is the idea here. Negotiation of meaning. The together negotiating, they will learn. So just imagine an unfamiliar word. So then different students will understand it in different way. And then at last they can consider the majority's opinion and then they can negotiate it further and get to know the meaning. We'll see the examples. Okay, we'll understand these examples. Information gap activities. So then sometimes when they do group activities, actually, different students may be having different information. Just imagine a project. Okay, so each students will take, okay, I will collect information about this. Another one will say, I will collect information about that. So at last, the group members are having different information. And then all this information is needed to be communicated with each other. Okay, so then each group member, they have to talk about the information they found. Okay, that is highly necessary to complete the task. And when it comes to problem solving, and then the students are assigned a problem to be solved in the field of education. The teacher will give them an imaginary question, imaginary problem. So students, they have to work together to solve the problem. And so they have to together bring the solution. And we say some case studies like things and clarification request. And sometimes when students do not understand something properly, they can clarify it, talking to each other. Okay, they can check whether how they understood is correct or wrong. That possibility is there under communicative language teaching. Okay, so this is also one example. Okay, otherwise you will be confused. Okay, paraphrasing and summarizing. That means paraphrasing means summarizing, you have to understand the meaning and you have to rewrite it, the essence of a paragraph or a story. Paraphrasing means rephrasing, writing the idea with another words. We can paraphrase poems. Okay. Students, negotiating meaning help learners develop important communication skills, such as asking for clarification, paraphrasing, and using different communication strategies. So we were talking about negotiation of meaning. So that is one feature of communicative language teaching. Paraphrasing is one method under communicative language. Sorry, negotiation of meaning is one feature of communicative language teaching. There are some more features. Okay, just read this. Okay, so this is another feature of communicative language teaching, that is variety of activities. Okay, there will be role plays, discussions, simulations, games, and problem solving task. Simulations means real life situations are brought to the class. If it is a dialogue, so that is directly related to real life. Okay, that is simulation. And I'm just checking the time. And here you see that different variety of activities. Okay, role plays, discussions, simulations, games, problem solving tasks, projects. Okay, so having variety of activities, that is really good, because then learners will be motivated and they will engage in the activities. Now I am going to the beginning. Yeah, struggling with time actually. Okay, what is happening there? Okay, so there are different language teaching methodologies. First, we took communicative language teaching. So then here we got to know the focus of communicative language teaching is to interact and communicate. That is, of course, with people, to interact and communicate. And then we discuss different features of communicative language teaching. Number one is authentic communication. Number two is fluency over accuracy. Number three is learner autonomy. Number four is negotiation of meaning. Number five is variety of activities. So that is what we discussed up to now. Are you clear with what we were doing? Sometimes the things we discuss you may not remember, but are you clear with what we are doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now we'll pay our attention to the role of the teacher and learner in communicative language teaching. Just have an idea. In your assignment question, you have to elaborate these things, okay? Okay, now we'll discuss role of the teacher under communicative language teaching is a role of a facilitator or a guide. Okay, so the traditional role of the teacher, dominative role. Teacher is dominating in the classroom, giving all the information. Teacher is the one who knows everything. But under communicative language teaching, the teacher is not playing a traditional role. So teacher is playing the role of a facilitator and guide. The teacher's role is to facilitate students and guide students. And teacher has to set up communicative activities, and teacher has to provide feedback. It's like that. It's a different role. It's not a traditional role. And then how is the role played by the learner? So in traditional classroom, learner is very passive, not active. But under communicative language teaching, learner is very active. Learner is an active participant, active communicator, because the learner has to communicate with each other, group members, with the teacher, and negotiator of meaning. So when they do group activities, when there are different viewpoints, they have to come to a common ground, come to a conclusion. For that, they have to negotiate meaning. Okay, so now hope you are clear with the role of the teacher and role of the learner under communicative language teaching. And then when we think about the strength of this method, it develops communicative competence, increase motivation, and prepare learners for real world use. I think I need not to explain, that is clear to you. So purpose of using a language, learning a language, is to communicate with each other in real world. Okay, so communicative language teaching is making the learner ready for that. So we'll talk about communicative language teaching is a very good language teaching methodology. But there is a weakness of this also. Yeah, just read. Okay, so actually we can't take this as a fully negative or fully weak point, because we have, when we want to tell a weak point of communicative language teaching, we can tell this, but this is also not a very weak point, because communicative language teaching ignore grammar and accuracy in the early stage. Okay, so then that is one weak point. So sometimes some people argue, when we do not consider proper grammar at the initial stage, it's very difficult to correct it at later stage. Okay, but here it is only at the initial stage. Okay, so when we think about Sri Lankan context, communicative language teaching is widely used in Sri Lankan classroom. But I don't know whether we can agree with this or not. But practically, I know, even though it says like that, practically we can still see traditional classrooms. What is your viewpoint? How do you feel? Are you teachers? What I can tell it is actually now English language teaching is not very traditional. Teachers are using these different methods. Yes. Yes. Okay, then no problem. Okay, so then it's good actually. Even the educators, the ministry may be encouraging teachers to use communicative language teaching. So that is the latest and widely accepted method all over the world. Okay, are you clear with the communicative language teaching?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I suppose when I share the slides, when you go through it, you will understand it better. Second one is task-based learning, TBL. Okay, just see. Under task-based learning, learning is organized around completing a task. Okay. So here the task have been defined actually. Okay, so then on the spot tasks are not decided, they have been already defined. So we have to implement this task with the student. We'll see what it is. Okay, task-based learning consists of different stages, different phases. So here you can see the first phase, that is pre-task phase. Okay, see what pre-task based. So during pre-task stage or phase, the task should be introduced to the students. Okay, while introducing the task to the student, the teacher should activate students' prior knowledge. Okay, students' prior knowledge should be activated and teacher should give instructions to the students. Okay, that means here the task is introduced, activating background knowledge, it happens, and clarifying instruction. Right. See, introducing the task. Okay, so introducing the task, the teacher will explain the objectives of the task. So what learners are expected to do and expected outcome. All these things are introduced by the teacher. Okay. Here you can see activating prior knowledge means after introducing the topic, teacher should help learners to recall their existing knowledge. Okay, so students are having particular knowledge already inside them, inside their brain. So a teacher should always activate this prior knowledge. Then students will be learning very comfortably. And we'll go further. Clarify instructions, you see. Clarifying instructions. So earlier we got to know here, introducing the task. So when teacher is introducing the task, the teacher gave students some instruction also. So here, the teachers have to check whether the instructions were properly understood by the students. Not here, okay, clarifying instructions. So teachers, they have to check whether the given instructions were properly understood by the students. That is the basic meaning here. That all learners understood the instruction is paramount. This might involve checking comprehension through questioning. For this, to check whether instructions were understood, the teachers can check their comprehension. Comprehension means understanding. Teachers can ask questions and check whether students, they have understood the stuff. And then teachers can, if teacher feels that they have not understood the instructions properly, the teacher can do things like providing written instructions, breaking down complex instructions into smaller, more manageable part. Okay, so these things can be done to clarify instructions. Addressing any potential ambiguities prevents confusion during the task. At the very beginning, if students are having doubts, different opinions, if students are vague of the topic, all these things should be clarified. Okay, so then all these things should be clarified, verified, then only it will be going very smoothly. Next, we'll see generating interest. Okay, I'm not even asking whether you read this because I really in a bad need to complete this. Okay, generating interest. Okay, so teacher under task-based learning should try, if a teacher feels that students are not interested in the topic, in a tricky way, teacher can make students interested of the lesson. And teacher can attach what the students are going to learn to their real life situations. Then pre-teaching vocabulary. So sometimes if the teacher feels or just imagine for the task, there are some specific vocabulary needed. Okay, so then when we are doing a debate, there are certain specific words. Okay, so then when students are performing some other thing, there are specific vocabulary. So when if the task requires specific vocabulary, so teacher should give it to the students early. Okay, just imagine the teacher is going to do one particular article, but there are lots of unfamiliar words in the article. So teacher can give those unfamiliar words, difficult words early. So then students can go through it and teacher also can explain them properly. Okay, pre-teaching vocabulary, that is really needed. See. Next one, task cycle. here we'll see a task cycle. Learners perform the task in small groups or pairs, focusing on meaning. Okay, so here the meaning, what is that? Meaning of task cycle means learners perform the task in so pairs. Okay, focusing on meaning. Okay, so the basic core of task-based learning is that students in pairs or in small groups, they will perform a task. So key aspects, task completion. Okay, key aspect of task-based learning, key aspects of task cycle, task completion. Learner work collaboratively in small groups or pairs to complete the task. So students are working together in a group to complete the task. So then it may be solving a problem, making a decision, creating something, or sharing information. And this method is having lots of similarities with communicative language teaching. There are similarities, but only difference is on the communicative language teaching, tasks are not there, so they are very minimum. But under task-based learning, tasks are very high. Meaning focused interaction. Learners communicate with each other to complete the task, and they negotiate meaning, they exchange ideas, and they express their opinions. And then use of communication strategies. So learners under task-based learning, they use various communication strategies such as asking for clarification, paraphrasing, using non-verbal cues to overcome communication challenges and ensure mutual understanding. Okay, so these are not very tough things. Yeah, you quickly read. So then these features, if you can remember, they were there under communicative language teaching, but they are here under task-based learning also. These two are very close by. So you can understand these slides very properly once you have a summary only. Okay, having a summary, short note is a must. And here also under task-based learning also, teacher is playing the role of a facilitator. Under communicative language teaching is also like that. Okay, third one. Okay, so language focus is also there under task-based learning. Sometimes you may feel the focus is on the task, not on the language, but language focus is also there. Okay, so reflection on language use. The teacher guides learners to reflect on the language they use during the task cycle. This might involve discussing what language they found useful, what challenges they encountered, and what they learned. Okay, so reflection on language use. They have to memorize how language was used. Task-based learning. Okay, so under task-based learning is also task-based learning also accuracy is focus. Okay, both form, the structure and accuracy both are paid attention, and then explicit, that means very clear instructions if necessary are provided. Okay, so this is task-based learning. Therefore, practice activities are there. And these activities are designed to improve their accuracy and fluency. And then individualized feedback, that is also there. Okay, so then when students are performing tasks, the teachers will observe them and notify what the mistakes they do or the positive things they do. So after that, they will give feedback on their performances. Okay. Okay. So then, under task-based learning also, language is focused. And during language focus stage, learners develop their metacognitive, metalinguistic awareness. Yeah. And then improve their accuracy and consolidate their learning. Okay, so then here, you just remember we did two methodologies. One is communicative language teaching. Other one is task-based learning. These two are two different methods, but there are some similarities also. You have to check them and you have to write them down. Okay, next one. Audio-lingual method. Yeah, quickly we'll do. Yes, just get an idea. Audio-lingual method. Okay. Audio-lingual method. From the title itself, you can understand audio-lingual. So listening is there, audio. Okay, so then under audio-lingual method, so this is a behaviorist principle actually coming under behaviorism. This theory emphasizes that habit formation can be done through repetition and drilling. Okay, when we repeat the same thing again and again, it will be very familiar to us. And by drilling also, we can do things naturally. Okay, key features, mimicry and memorization. That means learners are repeating and memorizing dialogues and sentence patterns under audiolingual method. And drill and practice is there. Okay, so then the drilling, you know, and drilling means teacher will tell something and students, they have to repeat it. And emphasis on accuracy. So under this method, focus is on accuracy. And then under this method, very little native language was used to teach English. Okay. Okay. Role of teacher under this method, audiolingual method. You just see. Okay. Under audio lingual method, that we are now talking about the role of the teacher. First, the role of the teacher is a role of a model or a director, providing correct pronunciation and grammar models. The teacher's task is to give students correct grammar models. Let me show you one example. Yeah, give me 1 minute. I will show it to you. Yeah, let me wait. Okay, wait. I will show it to you. What happens? Sorry, it is yeah. Wait. I'm searching for audio lingual method. Wait. Okay, now I am going to share this slide with you. Yeah, so we were talking about audio lingual method. Let me make it short. Hi. And the audio lingual method, so it's a lengthy method, but here you do not have time. That is why I have summarized. Here you see how teacher is drilling, practicing grammar through repetition. So here, teacher will repeat. Teacher is acting as the model. So teacher will say, there's a cup on the table. And teacher asks students to repeat. There's a cup on the table, repeat. Then the whole class will be telling, there's a cup on the table. Then teacher will say spoon. So then students will change a cup into spoon. There's a spoon on the table. Then teacher will say book. Then students say there's a book on the table. Then a teacher will say on the chair. So there's a book on the chair. So just like that, students are drilling. Okay, now we'll go to our one. Okay. So then teacher's role is a role of a model. Now you saw with the example also, teacher is acting as a model, the director providing correct pronunciation and grammar models. And now how is the role of the learner under audiolingual method? So under task-based learning and communicative language teaching, the learner was very active. But under audiolingual method, the learner will be very passive. He is not active. So just like a puppet, the learner will be repeating what teacher is telling. Okay, so that is the role of the role of the learner is a passive role, mimicking and responding to stimuli. So that is how learner is very passive, because learner will be repeating what teacher is telling. Learner will not think critically. Okay, the strength of audiolingual method is actually, as the teacher is the model, the students are following and pronouncing words like that. So the students will develop accurate pronunciation and grammar. The weakness is actually, it can be boring and demotivating, and it does not focus on meaning or communication. Okay, under audiolingual method, meaning is not focused. And if a student learn under audiolingual method, the particular students will not be able to cope with real life situation. So when they have to talk in English in real life, they are unable to do so. In Sri Lanka, still present in some classrooms. Or you also might have heard a teacher is telling something and the whole class is repeating. So that happens in some classrooms in Sri Lanka even today. Okay. The last one in this topic, under this topic, total physical response, TPR, total physical response. Yeah, just see. Okay, we'll see here, total physical response. From the title itself, you can understand it. And a total physical response, learning occurs totally through physical activity and movement. Based on the data, that language learning should be fun and engaging. Okay, so here the language learning is just like a fun activity, the physical activity and movements. So key features, commands and actions. When teacher is commanding, they have to put it into action. The teacher gives commands and learner respond physically. Okay, so then can you remember when we were in small class, parts of the body? The teacher will say eyes, then the students are showing the eyes, nose, mouth, ears, the belly, just like that. Okay, that is total physical response. The teacher is giving a command, the students are acting. And then meaning through movement, physical actions make the meaning of the language clear. Okay, so then when students follow the correct physical action, that means they understood the language. Learners are not forced to speak until they are ready. Okay, so it reduces stress. And this learning method is very fun and engaging. The students will enjoy it actually. So even it is a particular grammar component, it can be taught with lots of actions. And you may know these things. Even the adjectives can be taught using using actions. We'll see. Okay, so here under total physical response, see the role of the teacher and the role of the learner. Okay, did you read? We'll see. Or are you still reading? Under total physical response, the role of the teacher is playing a role of a director, role of a model. And teacher is giving clear commands and demonstrating the action. Okay, one message, we'll see what it is. Okay, what else? Okay, so teacher is having a role of a director, just like directing a film or a model. The teacher should give instructions clearly. Then only the students will physically act. And sometimes teacher has to demonstrate the actions. And then role of the learner is actually, learner is an active participant under total physical response, responding physically to the commands. And here the strength, the positive things, advantages is actually engaging and memorable. So this learning will be very engaging and memorable. Effective for teaching vocabulary and basic commands. So then this method is ideal to teach vocabulary and basic commands. Okay, so it reduces anxiety. The students will be very comfortable. Weak point is limited to teaching concrete vocabulary and simple grammar. So using total physical response, we can teach very limited, very simple grammar. And it's not suitable for all learning styles. So then, and also when we go to bigger grammar components, we can't use this. And also when the group is very large, we can't do this. Okay, in Sri Lanka also, total physical response, TPR, is valuable tool for teaching young learners. Young means very small students in grade 1, 2, 3, like that. Especially in primary school. Yeah, I told you, especially in primary school. Okay, so then number 5. Okay, so that is another approach, learner-centered approaches. Yeah, I put it here actually in a hurry. So this is a topic. We'll see. Learner-centered approach, that is the last one. Okay, learner-centered approach. So there are not only one, there are many learner-centered approach. They place the learner at the center of the learning process. Okay, that means under learner-centered approaches, learner is the core, the center. Okay, so then emphasizing individual needs and preferences. So key features you see, learner-centered approach. Identifying learners' needs and goals to tailor's instruction. That is one thing. And then learner autonomy. We have already discussed this. Under learner-centered approaches, it encourages learners to take responsibility of their own learning. And choice and flexibility. Okay, so learners are provided with a choice and it's flexible actually. Learners with choices in terms of content, activities, and assessment. Learners also can go for choices because it is learner-centered. Then collaboration and interaction. That means collaborate and together they learn. Reflection and self-assessment. Reflection we have already discussed. Encourage learners to reflect on their progress and identify areas for improvement. Okay, learner-centered approaches. So under learner-centered approaches, see the role of the teacher. Yeah, that's what I am telling. I am quickly doing this because I want to use the last 10 minutes to discuss how to write the answer. I'm coming there. I want to finish this. Okay, you just see. I will come to that point, okay? I am running a race and this is looking very odd because this is not the way that we are doing lectures other days. But today I need to complete this, otherwise you can't write the assignment. That is the reason. So role of the teacher under this method is the role of a facilitator, student-centered approaches, facilitator, a resource provider, guide, and yes, facilitator, resource provider, and guide. So they are the roles played by the teacher. The role of the learner, active participant, decision maker, and self-directed learner. That is called autonomous learners. Okay, so this method increases motivation and engagement. Caters to individual needs and develop learner autonomy. Okay, that is there. Weakness is careful planning and implementation may be challenging with the large class. Okay, so sometimes you may feel, people feel a learner-centered approach, teachers are relaxing. No, teachers are having more work under learner-centered approach than normal teacher-centered approach. Okay, we'll see. Sri Lankan context. In Sri Lankan context also, the educators, they have recognized the importance of student-centered approach, the methodology. So in Sri Lanka also, it is being tried to implement these things. Hari, okay, now let me go to your assignment questions quickly. Where is that? Yeah. Let me share it. Let me highlight it, then you will see it. Here, I hope you can see this. So take the assignment question into your mind. Yeah, just think about it. And you are also having this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Understand the question. Select a language teaching methodology that you have studied. So we'll think that you selected a communicative language teaching method. What are the other methods we did today?
Audio.
Audiolingual method.
Sorry?
Audiolingual, madam.
Audiolingual method. Task-based learning. We learned 5 methods. Communicative language teaching, task-based learning, audiolingual method, total physical response, student-centered methods. Okay, so now we'll think that you selected what is communicative language teaching methodology. We'll assume like that. Provide a detailed overview of the selected methodology, outlining its key principles, assumptions about language learning, and historical context. We discuss all these things. So you have to discuss the key principles of communicative language teaching, and also opinions about language learning. Under communicative language learning, language is learned to interact and communicate. That is the purpose. And historical context. So you can just pay your attention to the history. So you have to refer to certain website, all these things you can do. So you can depend on the slides given by me, but at the same time, you also can Google them. And discuss the role of the teacher and the learner within this framework. Okay, so we have discussed that also. And then analyze the strengths and weaknesses of this methodology, considering its effectiveness in fostering language acquisition, its practicality in different learning contexts, and its potential limitation. Okay, you have to, you just see whether you can answer it or not.
Madam, if we are writing the role of the teacher,
Yes.
can we write it in point form, madam?
No. Essay type of answer.
Okay, madam.
1,500 words. So all these are essay types of answer, one paragraph after the other.
Okay, madam.
Sometimes actually you can have subtopics. For an example, so here when you answer the question, there should be 3 areas in your answer. These 3 areas should be based on these 3 points. Provide a detailed overview of the selected methodology. Discuss the role of the teacher and the learner. Analyze the strength and weaknesses of this methodology. Okay, just like that. Now, just check. Now we have learned 5 methods. So just get an idea now itself with which method you are going to study this. You are going to write the assignment. Okay, just get an idea. So you decide what method you are going to use. So then if you like in your assignment, you can have subtopics like overview of task-based learning, key features of task-based learning, the role of the teacher in task-based learning, the role of the learner, if you like, or without titles also, it's okay. So then if you take audio-lingual method, overview of the selected methodology, key principles, and it's basically based on drilling, repetition, and audio-lingual method is okay for primary kids, and you have to write the advantages and disadvantages. Strength and weaknesses also you have to write, so then you can think about this. Yes. So when should you submit your presentation?
February 25th.
25th.
Yes, madam.
Presentation, you have a huge choice actually. Even here you have a choice, even though this is a single question, you have 5 choices. The 5 learning methodologies, teaching methodologies we discuss. You can take one of these 5. task-based learning, communicative language learning, language teaching, then audiolingual method, total physical response, teacher-centered methodology, student-centered methodology. Whatever you select, it doesn't matter. You have to arrange your answer very well. So that's what is needed. Okay, I was talking continuously. Now you ask your questions. Yes. Yes, you don't
Madam,
have.
is it necessary to add examples also?
Yes, better.
Pictures?
No, don't put pictures. It's not necessary.
Okay.
Because when you include pictures, that it is deviate from that academic quality. Presentation, how to do your presentation, we'll do day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we do not have classes, I think, because of independence, but Wednesday, I suppose we are having lectures. Then I will explain how to do your presentation. Okay.
Okay, madam.
Okay. So then at the end of your at the end of your assignment also, you can use references if you use. So my presentation will give you some idea about these methodologies. But you are free to search for more information. So when you get information from Google Scholar, like that, from internet, don't copy them directly. So that is highly prohibited. But you can read what you search and you can have a summary. And if there are certain things that you can support, you can use them. Okay, so then there are 5 methods actually you can select. And some methods are successful methods. For an example, task-based learning, then communicative language teaching. But it doesn't matter. Audiolingual method is out of date, but even then you can take it. So you are answering the assignment questions with reference to audiolingual method. It doesn't matter. Should it be typed or handwritten? I think in higher education, when you are following a degree, it should be typed. But for further information, you can contact the university. Normally, it should be typed actually. Hari, okay, are the things clear to you?
Yes, madam.
I'm sorry, I ran a race today actually because I was afraid because assignment question has been already given and it's about language teaching methodologies and we haven't done anything about it previously because you have to submit it within this month. So it's necessary to cover the area. So actually what I covered is not something that we can cover within 2 hours. So I may be running a race. Sometimes you may face certain difficulties, but whatever it is, if you get the basic idea, that is sufficient. Okay, then if you understood it, because these matters, actually, I don't know whether you need to submit both soft copy and the hard copy. So if they check plagiarism and all these things, you need to submit soft copy also. You can ask the university. Actually, I'm clueless. Okay, then if it is clear, shall we wind up the session?
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Okay, then good night and have a nice day.
Good night,
Thank you,
madam.
ma'am.
Good night,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay.